I have 19 things that I want us to talk about. Yes, 19. All of them as equally as important as the last one. Starting with the first one, the starting 11. So I see Zita Kwinika playing as a center back. First thought that came to my mind was, okay, Njabulo Ngcobo made a few mistakes in the previous game, but he still had a solid game. So you think that that's why Kwinika is played as a center back. To which I then thought, wait a minute, but Kwinika also made a lot of mistakes in that previous game, and to make matters worse, he was playing as a right back, so now you are going to put him in an even more critical position as a center back, a person who made mistakes. So it seems like there are double standards. We can say Njabulo Ngcobo made mistakes, so we bench him. Kwinika made a mistake, let's put him in an even more critical position. I think that's just hypocritical of a coach to make a selection based on that criteria, because he then brings back Uri Frostlight right back, who we'll talk about later on. But the other thing, there is an example that the coach is clearly not sure about what he's doing, is the fact that Frostler has not appeared or made any appearances in the past 3 games. Yet he comes in now, he's expected to play in the highest of intensities of games. And Solomons, who has been playing in the previous 3 games, is once again dropped to the bench. This was solidifying evidence to say the coach does not rate Solomons at all. We move on to another player who was selected, who we talked about with Utsemedi last week, when we said Umtutuzi Mtanzane could come back. Now people will say, Mpilo, but Umtutuzi Mtanzane had an assist and stuff like that. To which I would say, yeah, he did contribute going forward, but you must also remember that Pirates were cutting us apart through that midfield. So what he gave us in terms of an assist was also kind of overtaken by what we lost by bringing him back, which is the fact that then our midfield was a combination of players who have not played together at all in a long time. Now, is this Mtutuzi Mtanzane's fault? Of course it's not, because the player has not played at all for a very long time, and he comes back, you can still see Guti, there is quality there. The problem is the Soweto Derby's intensity is up there, and when you've not been playing in that level or any level at all, you've just been with the team. So I do think that this, once again, as much as you think, yeah, we needed something different, we needed Umshini played, it didn't show us anything in the previous games. Utoli played, didn't show us much in the previous games. So let's try something different. To which I ask myself, you've had Mfundo Vilakazi all along, and I know people will jump and say, hey Mpilo, why are you talking about Mfundo Vilakazi? I will say, who was running the derby yesterday? Yes, Umfanalo Maswanganyi played a very good game, but did you see how good Relebohile Mfukeng was yesterday? So I'm not saying he should have been thrown into the deep end of Mfundo Vilakazi yesterday, but I'm saying in the previous few games, he should have been given minutes so that in case he performs, then we say, go play in the derby, because we saw Mtutuzi Shabalala last season. He came and he played in a derby and he did really well. Why? Because in the previous few games, he had been also playing pretty well. But this time around, we thought, no, we're going to get someone who hasn't played in a very long time. It doesn't make any sense, because you have Samgelo Zwane, who's also a creative player, who's also a physical player, but also in terms of trying to have a double pivot, I'm a 6-out-2. Him and Castillo would sit, and then you have Umati running all over again, trying to affect the game in terms of creativity, because you want to play him. Or in another way, push Castillo up front and have Usamgelo Zwane sit deep. But then again, you are not going to play Usamgelo Zwane there after benching him so long. So then it was a very difficult thing, Guti. What are you now going to do? Are you going with Toli or are you going with Umshin? Me personally, as much as Umshin has also been underwhelming, I would go with a player who's been there and has played with these guys in the previous few games, because then you bench that player, then all of a sudden you are dealing with a whole new combination. And this shows in Uguti combinations are very important, because we look at Pirates, they brought on Ulebito, who's not been playing a lot for Pirates. I think that was his first start yesterday. And before Chiefs scored, the first chance that Tumodi got where he missed, where did we get the chance? On the right, on our left, where Ulebito was. So we play the ball to Modi misses. And then just a few minutes later, point number 4, we get a goal from the same side because if Pirates are sleeping, Ulebito is drawn in, is trying to go and press Umodi, but Dupri is running outside of him. Good movement, he gets a goal, he takes it well as well. So you can clearly see that even with Pirates, although they won against Chiefs, but also the fact that there was a player there who was not used to playing with everyone else for a while, it affected how they ended up conceding the first goal, which by the way we'll also talk about the second goal. And then what I saw, which was funny, which number 4, it's number 4, is it number 4? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, now we're talking about number 5. I saw Mfukeng coaching Udion Hoto. So this is related to Chiefs. How? Because you see these young boys coming in, Abo Mfundo, Abo Duba, even when they do come on, they seem to have more understanding, like in terms of movement, in terms of what to do out of position than the older players. So when I saw Relebohile Mfukeng shouting at Hoto, telling him, make an overlapping run if I'm going to the half space, I was seeing the same thing that happens with Uhlanti all the time. Hlanti passes the ball to Modi. Umodi is in the half space, but Uhlanti doesn't run and make an overlapping run to to make a pass possible for him from Umodi, but instead he just stands back and then we have no numbers going forward. It happens everywhere in the pitch with Kaizer Chiefs. So to see young boys being woke like that, it made me happy. And then on the 23rd minute, Chiefs makes a mistake. What happens there? You have Ukwinika who receives the ball. If you look, I'm showing you on the screen now, there is a pass that he could have played across to Frosler. There is a pass that he could have played to who was on the other side, Umtanzane. He could have chipped the ball over as well to Modi. There is a huge space available for Bruce Vuma. He could have played the ball to Vuma. He wasn't being pressed. Vuma could have hit that ball first time because Velege Pirates are going to press him. But no, he chooses to play the pass back to the person who's under pressure. And yes, Momart ends up losing the ball. Hospital pass to Kunika, but Kunika shouldn't have passed the ball to Matt in the first place. And because of that, everything is done because we are now disorganized. They get their goal. The score is 1-1. And immediately after that, you see Frosler. Frosler has the ball. Ne? He's getting the ball so that we can restart the game. What does our coach do? Instead of the coach, I don't know if they showed this on TV, instead of the coach clapping hands and saying, switch on, come on, stand up, let's go again, he goes and sits down. I'm like, what is happening here? Why would you sit down? What message are the players who are currently playing out there taking from you sitting down? Because even Abo Frosler, he takes the ball, he's telling Abo Msimango, let's stand up, let's go again. It's only 1-1. But the coach is sitting down. So once again, goes back to the thing of character and how much the coach or the players feed off the coach. Because if the coach seems like, oh, I'm defeated, then it's going to be a problem. And then after that, Pirates just dominated. And this is what I was talking about with Umtanzane. As much as he was offering us a lot going forward, but when it comes to the communication between those three in midfield, it was just not working well. And Pirates were finding spaces everywhere. And that comes down to, if we've been playing together for a while, we will know how each person moves. We will know their weaknesses. We will know to call them back. But no, that combination has not played together in a long time. And now you are playing them together. Now, I don't even know what point I'm on. Now, we score another goal, which most people haven't talked about. Tuguti Mart played a very good pass. In fact, it was similar to the pass that he played to Khosi Ngcobo when he scored that goal against Richards Bay in December. Gets the ball, he plays it between players, beautiful pass. Tanzania gets the ball. It was easier for him because now there was him, he's through one person, plays the ball to Modi, Modi plays the ball to Dupri. Fantastic finish. But I will still say, go look at that pass from Mark. It's a very good pass. And even in my highlights, for some reason, they don't show it. But it was a very good pass from Mark. And then we get a goal. Now, it's a good time to score. Close to half time. And then we ended up conceding another chance. And Uprosi Vuma had to make a save. Which made me go, You know what? I was right when I was talking to Tsemedi the other time when I said that if you look at Chiefs, they are not so good defensively. I mean, they haven't kept all the clean sheets that they've kept because they've been so good and prolific defensively. But they've done that because Bruce has been so good in making those saves. And once again, before halftime, he made that save and Chiefs were safe from Pirates. And another point is that we get Pirate Ulebitso, who we said was their weak link, because even the goal that we scored, he wasn't anywhere to be seen because Pirate had pushed up. Mart wins the ball, and then on the right side it's empty. So when Dupri gets the ball, he's on his own. And I think it was Ukogi who had to make an option whether to mark Umodu who had the ball or to mark Dupri. He ended up not marking anyone. Ulebitso wasn't there, and even their left back Uhot wasn't there because it was a counter. So we scored a goal. So Lebitso now gets an opportunity. And when the ball is cut back, once again, look at the positioning of Frosler in that opportunity. The ball is played behind him. Now he's chasing back. By the time he's trying to catch up, the cutback is played. When the cutback is played, there is Castillo and Mart at the edge of our box. They do this. I understand the need to put your hands behind your back because you don't want a handball or whatnot. But both of them at that moment, they are more focused on putting the hands behind their back than to close down the man who is in the most dangerous area in the pitch, right in front of goal, to let him shoot. They just do this and their press is not convincing. Both of them should have gone there flying, because if you look to the left, Uhlanti had another man covered. So that 1v1 was going to be sorted. But the immediate threat at that moment was to close down that person with the ball. Castillo is too slow to close him down, because even the way he's running, there's no time to run at any angle there. At that time, it's to just run at him, close him down, make sure that he doesn't get the shot off. But they're too slow. They're still trying to do this. Rather, man, try to force him to think otherwise and try to make a pass. No, there wasn't enough pressure. He gets the ball, he pushes the ball, he takes the shot. It's disappointing, really, from both Mart and Castillo. Me, I fault them. Even Ega Frosla on the right, but those two, they had no other person close to them, but they failed to close down that man. And then after that, after the goal, the coach had planned to bring on Solomons, but then he saw good, okay, now let me take out Mtutuzim Tanzane and Usaile as well. Something that I always said, Saile is an impact player. Starting a game with Usaile is shooting yourself in the foot, because you are always going to sub him out. And guess what? They then decided to sub him out, which means they were going to keep him in the game, although he was ineffective. Also, they were going to keep Tanzania in the game, although he was clearly tired if it wasn't for the goal. You see, good, now the goal forced them to change the game plan, which should have been changed well in any case, because of the fact that our midfield was now, and it was ineffective well at the time. So, ineffective. Yeah, so they then make those 3 changes, and then those 3 changes actually didn't do much, because as much as Duba comes in, Mshini comes in, and Solomons come in finally, because now he's forced. And one thing, the first thing that I noticed is that with Duba, there's something beautiful that he does. He's not a tall player, but his hold-up play is beautiful. And there was a chance that we got because of Duba. It was a set piece, he gets the ball, he plays it quick, we get a chance, but we ended up missing the chance. But what he has is a sense of agency. What he has is knowing, like what I was saying earlier on about Relebohile Mfokeng. He knows where to run, where to be. He knows when to come short. He knows when to overlap. He knows when to come short. He knows all of those things. And Lomfana Mngane nalabadlala sinabo, yet he's doing better than all of them. So to me, that was beautiful to watch by Uduba Uguti. Wow, this boy has a sense of agency, and this boy understands and he can read the game. And then what ends up happening is that we concede a goal after that. After they come in, I think it was around the 70th minute. Did I write? I didn't write. If you look at the graphic on the screen, Patrick Maswanga is a very dangerous player. That man can turn with 5 people around him and create an opportunity. Now, if you're going to give him that much space and expect him not to do anything, Forget everything else. Forget what Saleng, where Saleng is. Forget where everyone is. At that moment in time, where is our midfield? Where is Mart? Where is Castillo? Where are they? Maswangai is running alone. He is free with all of that space. Could have taken the ball, even dribbled past Simang and scored himself. Or he could have dribbled to Shant. He didn't. He ended up passing Usaleng, and then they scored their third goal. The game is done after that. And you're asking yourself, Kanti, who were we playing? Because that's why sometimes I don't like playing 4-2-3-1. Because sometimes they interchange Uguti, who goes forward, who stays. I would rather just have a single pivot. We know Castillo or Umart or whoever is sitting. Your job is to make sure that you sit, you don't go forward, especially having a player like Masangai in the starting 11 separate, and yet Ninansa alternate, or sometimes you both go. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then numbers 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, 15. Umshini, one of the things that is good for, one that does very well each game. Like I play game Umshini ngayenza receiving the ball and just turning around. He receives the chance. You're like, this is beautiful. And then once he does that, then a hospital pass. Like there was a time where he played a 1-2 with Utuba, and when he had to just pass the ball where we needed to score, it was a hospital pass. I'm like, Kandi, do they not train how to pass the ball? Like, how do they not know how to pass the ball? Like umuntu adlale and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. Bese flock pass the ball. It's completely unacceptable. And speaking of people with ability, yabo uHlanti ngizokutshela mina isiZulu. uHlanti is a good footballer, and I know ukuthi this is a hot take, but uHlanti is a good footballer who just looks like he lacks interest. Yes, I don't know how many times I see the ball coming to uHlanti. It's an aerial ball. He traps it. Some players struggle even with trapping the ball. Like nama ball trick. You can just trap it. But if it's coming down here, and then Hlanti controls the ball, technique of controlling the ball, technique of moving the ball, you can see has the ability. If he just showed interest, then Hlanti would still be playing at the highest level. Hlanti is a very, very good footballer who just is not showing any interest in playing football, and yet is playing week in, week out. And that's my biggest problem, and that's the thing that irritates me with Hlanti. Uguti is a good player who just doesn't want to play, and I don't like that. And Mobi Zululia Duma, we're going to rush through the last points. On the 89th minute, in fact it was the 90th minute at the time, the coach brings on Fundo Vilagazi, who has not been giving enough opportunities in previous games. He takes out Castillo finally. But the thing is, you bring on Gonzalez, you might as well just leave Castillo, because Castillo aerially has even proven Uguti he can do better than Gonzalez. And yet actually just gotten a chance that he almost scored, because at that time, I need to be desperate. Bring on Mashiane to play left back, to cross the balls to who's this? Castillo on the box. But no, we're bringing in Gonzalez, who's low on confidence. You are throwing him at the deep end in the tab. Why not have Uranga on your bench? Someone who has at least scored a goal and add aerial ability. You have Uranga, you have Castillo in the game, and now since you are cross to people who are there in the box. Nope, we didn't. So we take out Modi and Castillo, we bring on Fundo, we bring on Gonzalez. And Modi was also tired for a long time. Yet he was staying there, because once again, Modi had a good game and we were hoping that we're still going to get another individual brilliance. And deep into stoppage time, Vuma still had to make a save. Just to once again underline the fact that we could have lost that game a lot of time, like by a lot of goals, because I believe that there were 2 penalties that Pirates should have gotten, but they didn't get. So we could have lost that game 5-2 or more. But we survived. And then there was obviously that video after the game where Brendan Peterson was shouting at the coach. I don't know what he was saying, but if he was saying, you see the nonsense coaching that you have done, it's unacceptable. And people are going to say, it's unacceptable that he shouts at the coach. I mean, I would rather someone cares who the team lost than him who's going to say, we played well, the boys this, the boys that. No, you coached rubbish and the team lost because the tactics showed clearly that the coach does not have a plan B. His plan, it was clear. It was exploit Lebitso, because even when Duba came in, he still came to the side of Lebitso to try and overload that side. So it was clear that we were trying to overload that side and create chances from that side. But when they found a way of stopping us, because Makaula was now helping Lebitso, now we're not able to do anything. Hey. Yeah, Chiefs lost. I'm not even hurt, because I was expecting this. What did you think of the game? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.